The ultimatum. The stars hung like distant lanterns in the viewport as Captain Alina Reyes stared into the vastness of space. Her ship, the UES Intrepid, represented the pinnacle of human achievement, a deep space vessel capable of traversing the gulf between stars in weeks rather than lifetimes. Humanity had spent centuries dreaming of the stars, and now, after nearly 100 years of interstellar exploration, they had established 12 thriving colonies across 7 star systems. "Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command," announced Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of his console. Alina straightened her uniform. "Put it through to my ready room." The stern face of Admiral Way appeared on her screen moments later. "Captain Rice, your mission parameters have changed. You are to proceed immediately to coordinates being transmitted now. We've detected an anomalous energy signature unlike anything in our databases." "Understood, Admiral. May I ask what we're looking for?" Way's expression remained impassive. "Something old, Captain. Very old." 3 days later, the Intrepid entered orbit around an uncharted moon in the Tau Ceti system. Initial scans revealed a structure buried beneath the barren surface, geometrically perfect and composed of materials that defied analysis. Dr. Samira Khalid, the ship's chief scientist, led the excavation team. A petite woman with an intellect that intimidated most of her colleagues, she approached the alien structure with both caution and barely contained excitement. "The dating analysis is complete," she reported over the comm. "Captain, this structure is approximately 3 million years old." Alina felt her heart race. Human civilization had existed for less than 10,000 years. Whoever built this had been reaching for the stars when humanity's ancestors were still learning to use stone tools. The breakthrough came on the 7th day of excavation. Dr. Khalid's team discovered a chamber containing what could only be described as a library, crystalline storage devices, holding information in quantities that made Earth's combined data archives seem trivial by comparison. "It's not just scientific knowledge," Samira explained during the briefing, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "It's a complete technological blueprint for faster-than-light communication systems, energy generation methods centuries beyond our current capabilities, and defensive systems that could revolutionize our understanding of physics." "Who built it?" Alina asked the question everyone was thinking. "They called themselves the progenitors, and according to these records, they were systematically hunted to extinction by a species called the Sovhar. Within months, humanity began implementing the discovered technologies. The first breakthrough came in communications, instantaneous exchanges across any distance. The second was energy production, solving Earth's centuries-old resource problems. The third, and most significant, was defensive technology that created localized spatial distortions, effectively making ships impervious to conventional weapons. Humanity's rapid technological advancement did not go unnoticed. 1 year after the discovery, an enormous vessel appeared at the edge of the Sol system. It dwarfed humanity's largest ships, stretching nearly 5 kilometers from bow to stern. Its hull bore intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change when viewed directly. "We are the Sovhar Imperium," announced the being that appeared on screens across Earth's communication network. The alien resembled an insectoid with a carapace that shimmered with iridescent blues and greens. Multiple compound eyes reflected the light unnervingly. "We have detected your use of forbidden progenitor technologies. This is a violation of Galactic Covenant law." Admiral Way led the diplomatic response. "We discovered these technologies independently. We claim right of discovery and usage." The Sovhar diplomat, who identified himself as High Executor Ziv Krull, chittered something that the translation software couldn't process before continuing. "The technologies you speak of were banned 3 million cycles ago after the progenitor rebellion. All sentient species in organized space are bound by the Covenant not to develop or utilize these technologies. With respect, High Executor, humanity is not a signatory to this covenant." Ziv Krull's mandibles twitched. "Ignorance of galactic law is not an exemption from it. You have 2 of your planetary cycles to dismantle all progenitor-derived technologies and submit to Imperium oversight. Failure to comply will be considered an act of rebellion. The transmission ended abruptly. President Amara Okafor addressed the nations of Earth that evening. Make no mistake, this is not a negotiation, it is an ultimatum. The Sovhar Imperium demands we abandon the very technologies that could secure humanity's future. They demand we relinquish our sovereignty and submit to their authority. They demand that we choose between our independence and our survival. She paused, her resolute gaze boring into the camera. Today, we make our choice. We will not surrender the future of our species. We will not bow to tyranny from the stars. Humanity stands united in defiance. Over the next 18 months, Earth and its colonies worked feverishly. Ships were retrofitted with progenitor technology. New vessels were constructed in orbital shipyards that worked around the clock. The progenitor database had contained not just technological schematics, but tactical information about the Sovhar, their strengths, weaknesses, and battle strategies. While the Imperium believed they were intimidating humanity into submission, humans were preparing for war. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned UES Defiance, the first warship built entirely with progenitor-derived technology. At 1,500 meters long, it was the largest vessel ever constructed by human hands. Around her, 200 other ships of various sizes formed the United Earth Defense Fleet. All ships reporting ready, Captain, announced her XO, Commander Takashi Himura. Elena nodded, her expression solemn. The weight of command had never felt heavier. Open a channel to the fleet. When the connection was established, she spoke without preamble. Men and women of Earth and her colonies, today we face an enemy that believes they can dictate the terms of our existence. They've given us a simple choice, submission or extinction. But they've overlooked something fundamental about our species. She paused, looking at the faces of her bridge crew. Throughout our history, humanity has faced extinction-level threats. We've survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and environmental collapse. Each time, we've emerged stronger, more adaptable, more determined. We don't accept ultimatums. We defy them. Her voice strengthened with conviction. The Sovhar believe their technological superiority and numerical advantage guarantee their victory. They're about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon has never been our technology. It's our indomitable will to survive, to fight, to overcome impossible odds. She straightened to her full height, set course for the Proxima Centauri gate. We take the fight to them. As the fleet accelerated toward its destiny, Elena couldn't help but wonder if this would be remembered as humanity's finest hour, or its last stand. DEFINC rising. The human fleet emerged from FTL near Proxima Centauri, where intelligence had identified a major Sovhar outpost. 27 massive Imperium vessels hung in orbit around the fourth planet, their silhouettes casting long shadows across the system. "They've detected us," reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his fingers dancing across the tactical display. "Their weapons systems are powering up." Captain Alina Reyes nodded calmly. "Deploy echoes." From the belly of each human vessel, hundreds of small, unmanned craft launched into space. These echoes represented one of humanity's most ingenious adaptations of progenitor technology. Each projected a false spatial signature identical to a full-sized warship. On Sovhar sensors, what had appeared as a fleet of 200 ships suddenly registered as a force nearly 2,000 strong. "They're confused," Jackson reported with a hint of satisfaction. "Their targeting systems are attempting to prioritize threats." "Execute Maneuver Omega," Elena ordered. "All ships, engage quantum distortion fields." The human fleet split into 3 battle groups, executing a complex 3-dimensional attack pattern that would have been impossible without the neural interfaces connecting each ship captain to their vessel. The progenitor database had revealed that Sovhar tactical doctrine relied heavily on mathematical predictability, a weakness humanity intended to exploit with tactical chaos. The first volley from the Imperium ships lanced through space, brilliant beams of energy that passed harmlessly through the echo decoys or dissipated against quantum distortion fields. "Return fire," Elena commanded. "Target their propulsion systems." Human vessels unleashed a barrage of weapons, unlike anything the galaxy had seen in 3 million years. Gravitic torpedoes collapsed localized sections of spacetime. Particle lances bypassed Sovhar shields by phasing through subspace. The progenitors had designed these weapons specifically to counter Imperium defenses. 3 Sovhar dreadnoughts erupted in brilliant explosions before their commanders even realized what was happening. "All ships, press the advantage," Elena ordered. "Don't give them time to coordinate." The battle raged for nearly an hour. Human vessels darted through the engagement zone with unpredictable patterns, while Sovhar ships maintained rigid formations that made them vulnerable to concentrated attacks. When the last Imperium vessel retreated through a spatial rift, 17 destroyed Sovhar ships drifted as lifeless hulks. Earth had won its first victory, but the Imperium's response was swift and terrible. 3 days later, a Sovhar armada of over 500 warships appeared at the edge of the Sol system. At their center was a vessel so massive it generated its own gravitational field, the Imperium flagship Eternal Dominion. "They're broadcasting a message," Jackson reported as the armada approached Earth's defensive perimeter. The visage of High Executor Ziv Krell appeared on the main screen, his compound eyes reflecting a cold alien intelligence. "Humans of Earth, your defiance is noted in the Imperial record. Your species has chosen extinction. We shall oblige." Earth's orbital defense platforms, massive installations armed with progenitor weaponry, engaged the incoming armada while the human fleet regrouped. The battle quickly turned into a war of attrition that humanity could not hope to win through conventional means. In the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Wei conferred with President Okafor. "Madam President, it's time to authorize Protocol Prometheus." Okafor's expression remained resolute despite the gravity of the decision. "The simulations aren't conclusive. We can't be certain it won't affect Earth as well." "Without it, there will be no Earth to affect," Wei replied grimly. After a moment's hesitation, the president nodded. "Execute Protocol Prometheus." Aboard the UES Defiance, Captain Rice received the coded transmission. "All ships, fall back to minimum safe distance," she ordered. "Activate quantum tethers and prepare for spatial distortion." As the human fleet retreated to the predetermined coordinates, the Sovhar pressed their advantage, believing they had broken Earth's defenses. Their armada formed a hemisphere around the planet, weapons primed for a final devastating assault. At that moment, 12 specially modified satellites in Earth's orbit activated simultaneously. Drawing from the planet's geomagnetic field, they generated a cascading quantum resonance that spread outward at faster than light speeds. Space itself seemed to ripple as the wavefront passed through the Sovhar fleet. For a fraction of a second, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the Imperium vessels began to lose cohesion. The progenitor database had revealed the Sovhar's greatest technological vulnerability. Their ship's subspace matrix stabilizers operated on a specific quantum frequency. Protocol Prometheus exploited this by generating an anti-resonance field that caused catastrophic destabilization. The Eternal Dominion was the last to succumb, its massive hull twisting in ways that defied conventional physics before collapsing in on itself like a dying star. When the quantum resonance dissipated, 3/4 of the Imperium fleet had been reduced to scattered atoms. The remaining vessels, systems critically damaged, began emergency retreats through spatial rifts. Admiral Wei's voice came through the fleet-wide channel. "All ships, this is Earth Command. The enemy is in retreat. I repeat, the enemy is in retreat. Earth stands." Cheers erupted across every human vessel and in cities around the planet. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged victorious. 1 month later, a different Sovhar vessel approached Earth under a flag of truce. The emissary who came aboard the UES Defiance was not from the Imperium, but from a coalition of worlds known as the Free Systems Alliance. For millennia, the Sovhar Imperium has dominated galactic politics through technological superiority and military might, explained Ambassador Kileth, a being whose translucent skin revealed complex circulatory patterns beneath. Many species have chafed under their rule but lack the means to challenge them effectively. The ambassador's multifaceted eyes regarded Elena with something resembling respect. Your victory has sent shockwaves through organized space. The Imperium's aura of invincibility is shattered. Already, 3 major systems have declared independence. We didn't set out to destabilize galactic politics, President Okafor said from the viewscreen. We simply defended our right to exist on our own terms. Nevertheless, that is what you have accomplished, Kileth replied. The Free Systems Alliance would like to formally extend an invitation for Earth and her colonies to join our coalition, not as subjects or protectorates, but as equals. In the years that followed, humanity expanded its presence in the galaxy. The Sovhar Imperium, while wounded, remained a formidable power that viewed humans with a mixture of hatred and newfound respect. Skirmishes along the borders between Imperium space and human territories became common, but neither side sought all-out war again. Captain Elena Reyes, now Admiral Reyes, stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space installation at the junction of 3 major trade routes. Below her, ships from dozens of species docked and departed in an intricate dance of commerce and diplomacy. Quite a view, isn't it? Asked Dr. Samira Khalid, joining her at the viewport. Time had etched lines around the scientist's eyes, but they still sparkled with the same curiosity that had led her to unlock the progenitor secrets. I never imagined we'd come this far so quickly, Elena admitted. From fighting for our survival to becoming a major galactic power in less than a decade. Samira smiled. The progenitor database contained one final message that I never shared publicly. It said, "To those who find this archive, know that you were chosen not by chance but by design." The seeds we scattered across the cosmos were meant to bloom in defiance of tyranny. Elena raised an eyebrow. You think they knew about us? About humanity? I think they recognized something in our genetic potential, the same adaptability and determination that allowed us to survive on Earth through countless disasters. They knew that someday we would need these technologies to secure our place among the stars. As if on cue, a massive human exploration vessel began its departure sequence, its engines glowing with progenitor-derived energy as it prepared to venture beyond known space. Where do you think we'll be in another 100 years? Elena asked, watching the ship disappear into the darkness between stars. Samira's reply was simple yet profound. Wherever we choose to be, that's what it means to be human. In the vast tapestry of galactic civilizations, humanity had woven itself a unique pattern, not through conquest or subjugation, but through death.